Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited to be doing a video doing an unboxing, setup, and review of the Fireflame Tabletop Fire Pit, which is in this box right here. This is a product that you can get on Amazon for about $40. The purposes of this fire pit is really it's for patio settings or when you're indoors and want to have a fire, either just for decorative purposes or for making s'mores. And so what we'll do in this video is we'll take it out of the box, we'll show you what comes in the packaging, we'll walk through setting it up, I'll walk through lighting it for the first time, both in indoor setting as well as with the lights off. And then lastly, I'm super excited because I got everything to make s'mores with marshmallows, Hershey's chocolate, as well as graham crackers. And so we'll show you how to do that with this fire pit as well. As always, if you're interested in potentially purchasing this, there will be links in the description below where you can find it on Amazon. All right, so within that other box, they actually had their own separate box. So this says Fireflame Tabletop Fire Pit on it. As far as the rest of the packaging, it's basically a black box that says Fireflame across the sides, nothing beyond that. So we'll get this opened up. So inside, what it shows is an instruction manual that basically has instructions as far as assembly and safety measures. I'll read that once we get this open. Then there's a piece of styrofoam that protects everything. There's going to be a fire like tamp as far as turning off the fire by putting this on top. We'll walk through that. There's going to be marbles as far as the kind of glass blue marbles that you'll put along the edges for decorative purposes. And then lastly, you'll have the actual fire pit itself. Beyond that, there's nothing in the box. And so I'll take this out and take a look at it. It comes in like a styrofoam packaging as far as safety or keeping it kind of clean. And this is what it looks like. And so it says Fireflame on the edge here. It's kind of, it looks like it's a white marble design. There are a couple areas here that are kind of weird where it's darker, where it's almost like smoke. Maybe this might have been a product that was actually returned to the company because overall it doesn't really look like the product is marble. It looks like really it's like solid white, but there's definitely black smudges along the top. So maybe the company sent me one that had previously been used and returned. If that's the case and you run into this issue, you might want to return it and get one that hasn't been used, but I'm not going to do it for this purpose because they sent it to me. And then it'll be interesting to see whether with routine use, whether you develop smoke residue along the top as well. Regardless, it's a very solid, sturdy design. It's got rubber kind of pieces on the bottom to keep it from sliding and holding it up. In the inside here, there's going to be, I think, two separate pieces. There's going to be one that's going to be a tray that goes into the middle. It's just like a stainless steel tray that you'll insert in the middle here. And then the other component is going to be the inside. There'll be another steel piece that has this little lid in it, and there's going to be a kind of cloth wick that goes in this area to soak up the alcohol. This burner is going to be using alcohol or isopropyl alcohol for burner use, and so I have that at the side here. So I had 90% or 91% isopropyl alcohol sitting around, and so what we'll do now is I'll set this up and we'll walk through lighting it, and as well as setting up the marbles at this time. So give me 1 second. All right, so this is what it looks like with the marbles in place. And so these kind of like dark blue, light blue marbles go across the top here. And it really is a good complement to the overall white geometric pattern. It'll be interesting to see how this looks when you actually have the flames going on kind of aside it. As far as turning off the fire, all you have to do once you heat it up is you'll basically just snuff it out with this lid by putting it on the top. That'll prevent oxygen and burning of the fire. And so what we'll do now is we'll pour some isopropyl alcohol in here and we'll light this thing up and kind of see what it looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour this and kind of soak the wick there. We'll see how much we have to use and how long it lasts, but we'll do that for now. And then very carefully, what you want to do is use either a long match or like a long lighter like this. Stand back and it should light up immediately. And there you go. So this is kind of what it looks like. So it lights up immediately. It's really cool. You got the central flame here. It sticks up probably about like 10 inches of heat or so. So you do have to be careful from that standpoint. One thing of note is that don't ever use this in an enclosed space where you don't have oxygen available, because like if you used it in a tent, like very similar if you use a heater, you could actually consume all the oxygen and create carbon monoxide. So I would actually recommend doing this either outdoors or on a patio from a safety standpoint. But here we'll turn off the light and just see what it looks like in the complete dark. And so that's what it looks like, which is really cool. It really reminds you of like a campfire. And it's just like a really cool effect with this the blue kind of around it. So it's definitely cool and unique from that standpoint. Real quick, what I'll do is I'll kind of set everything up for making s'mores, and we'll walk through how to make s'mores on the tabletop fire pit. All right, so here we have everything to make s'mores. So I've got marshmallows, obviously Jet Puff because that's the brand name. I've got some Hannaford graham crackers, and then I actually have dark chocolate for Hershey's chocolate. That's really just because I prefer dark chocolate in general. Really, to be honest, for s'mores, you should use milk chocolate because it'll melt much easier, and that's really the go-to. But that was just because I was purchasing a large amount of chocolate, and I don't eat that much milk chocolate because I don't really like it. But as far as putting the s'more together, usually what I do is I do 2 entire slabs of graham crackers, 2 slices or chunks of Hershey's chocolate, and then I'll do 2 separate marshmallows. I've got just your routine skewers, and then what we'll do is we'll just throw these on to the skewer, and then we'll see how well this works and how long it takes to heat this up. I've been camping or went camping my entire life growing up in a trailer or tent camping. Usually when you cook marshmallows and do s'mores, I don't burn them. I usually cook it on a fire very close to the coals so that it can kind of like roast the outside of the marshmallow, get it very like crunchy on the outside. Without burning it, because then it's not charred. It'll be interesting to see how well this works and how long it takes to cook on this. It might take a little bit longer just because it's just flame rather than the coals, but we'll have to see how long this takes, so give me a moment. Now I have a flaming marshmallow indoors, which is not the smartest idea. But basically what I'm noticing is that from the sides here, it's taken a little while to heat up. So you do have to take your time. Very similar to when you're camping or something, you just take your time. But over the top here, there's a lot more heat rising up. And it actually lights on fire when you're there, as you can tell. So you have to be careful there. But from what I can tell, it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of heat up. So if you're somebody that likes to just douse your marshmallow in fire and cook it that way, you can do it that way. Just be very careful indoors because you might light your fire on or house on fire. But that's basically what it looks like after charring it. As far as making the actual s'more, all you have to do is just take the marshmallows and the skewer, just shove it in between the chocolate and the graham cracker, and then basically just squish it together like that. And that's how you have a s'more. So that's a way to get indoor s'mores. I'd say from personal experience with this, using this, it's a really cool, unique product. But I'd probably say use it outdoors because I don't want you burning your house down, and I don't recommend using it indoors. But overall, it's a really cool design as far as like the brightness, it's got that outdoorsy camping type of effect without having to be outdoors. So definitely check this out. And real quick, we'll taste my s'more to see how it tastes. I'm It tastes exactly like a s'more, as you would expect. The only thing is with the dark chocolate, the chocolate's not actually melted at all. As for putting this out, we'll test this out. We'll just use the kind of tamper or whatever you call this. We'll put this on the top here and see if it stops on its own. And there you go, it's already stopped. So this is the Fireflame Tabletop Fire Pit. You can use it for decorative purposes, making s'mores. With the s'mores, it's a little bit different than having a roasted fire, so it's a little nuanced, but if you have kids, children, family, you want to do this indoors, outdoors, just for a general experience, definitely check it out. As always, if you're interested in potentially purchasing this, I'll leave links in the description below for where you can get on Amazon. And thanks for watching and have a great night.